Welcome back to another video. My name is Derek, and today we're going to be taking a look at this MacBook Pro model A2485. It's got a very interesting issue, which is that it blacks out often, and if not for extended periods of time, the only way to use it is to hook it up to an HDMI and use a different monitor. Every once in a while it comes back to life and the display can be used, but if it's bumped, it blacks out. Let me show you what I mean, and let's see if I can fix it. Well, let's take a look at this MacBook. At first glance, doesn't look like it has any issues. The display is on and it's working, but every once in a while, this display just blacks out and it can't come on. This happened after a hard drop. At specific angles, the display comes back on, and right now, everything seems to be fine. But that doesn't mean it is, because it will go black for extended periods of time, and I think that the culprit is going to be the display cables. What I'm going to do is I'll take it about 2 inches above the table and give it a small little drop. And let's see, would you look at that? No display. It might be hard to tell, but the backlight of the keyboard is on. So I know that the computer is actually on, but we have no image. And I know that it's not an issue with the backlight because I don't get any sign of image with the light. There's a handful of possibilities that this could be. This could be an issue with the LCD flex cable, the backlight cable, but not as likely. Maybe there's a loose coil on a backlight line. Maybe there's a pinched flex cable, like the LCD flex cable. Over time, with all of the bending and folding, they do experience issues. The first thing that I need to do is isolate the battery. So we'll disconnect that, disconnect this little flex, and then we'll unscrew the battery screw and make sure that isn't touching. Now let's flip this around and take a look at these flex cables. In order to really get a good view of it, I'm going to take out the bar up here. Now I can tell that someone has been in this before because this screw is stripped, but I think I can still back it out, which is good. I must have been using the wrong size bit because it's practically a circle now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect these 3 coax cables so that we can pull out the entire bar. I'm going to disconnect the LCD backlight cable here. 2 connectors right here. And I'm actually going to reconnect it, and let's see if giving it a chance to kind of reset with the battery will get it on. That doesn't mean the issues will be fixed, but we'll at least be able to see that. I can hear it coming on, but I can't see anything. And I can see that the keyboard is lit up, but yeah, we still have no image. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect power again. Let's go ahead and remove the display so we can take a look at the flex cables outside of the housing. All right, and off comes the display, and we'll continue from there. Under my microscope, I see a few issues, but nothing that I'm going to be able to address unless I really get the display panel off so I can access the entire portion of the flex cables. And what I'm thinking about replacing is this. This is the LCD flex cable. So we're going to take the time to replace this. Now, this is one of the most difficult repairs, in my opinion, because separating a panel without damaging it is really, really hard. But I'm going to show you how I do it. And I do the entire process with basically a piece of plastic and tweezers and a lot of experience. So the first thing I'm going to do is slide the plastic under the glass bezel here, and we'll carefully slice through. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to try to got a little paintbrush here. I'm just going to try to get some of the dust and debris out from this area, because we're about to, once we get the panel off, the backlight is going to be exposed, and we don't want to get any dust on it, or at least prevent it. So the cleaner your environment is, the better for this part. And I'm just going to slowly cut and push through the adhesive that holds down this thin glass bezel. Now you can do this part with heat, but I find that it's just so much simpler to just go in without it. And we'll set that aside. There's 2 pentalobe screws that hold down this plastic bracket that covers up the flexes. We'll slowly pull this out. If you go too fast, you can snap the plastic. It tends to break in the middle if you go too fast, so I'll take my time, let the adhesive let itself go. And mine wanted to start to crack there, so I'm going to go in from the other side. All right, and now we have better access to the display flex, and I can see what I think has happened. If you look right here, there's a line of adhesive right at the tweezer tips, and the display flex has slid up, and there's a kind of a gash right here. You can see that the cable here is all twisted. This bottom of the flex should be in line with this one right here. So the display flex has basically got tugged on, got damaged, and probably is pulled slightly out of the port that this slides into. And so maybe those pins are making kind of some semi-contact. And when this has a chance to relax and this cable kind of gets pushed back into place, it works. But unfortunately, there's no real way to slide this back in. I'm going to try, but I think that the only way to do this at this point is to get the entire panel off. And I'm curious to see if I do this and push down on this flex, if I can get it to kind of realign. By pushing it down, it might push it further into that connector, and it's worth the shot to do that before extracting the whole panel. So I have a big decision to make. And unless you've done a panel before, you may not understand how big of a decision this is. Do I separate the display panel, or do I put it back together and kind of hope that this is going to fix it? Because this could be all it needs, is just having that adjusted a little bit. But is that cable now at a point where I shouldn't trust it? I'm gonna just test it to see if my theory holds. I'll put that single screw back. All right, I've got one screw on each hinge there. We'll carefully fold this down. We'll connect back up the lid angle sensor, the display flex, the camera flex. All right, and we'll push those down and connect them up. With all of that connected, we'll go ahead and reconnect the battery. And let's go ahead and see if we can get this to turn on. And we've got an Apple logo, which is great again. I spent the next hour trying to justify a quick fix, hoping that I could get away with it, but I didn't. And even though I found image, one little tap and the display would black out again. You can see the backlight's on for the keyboard, but we still have no image, which means my quick fix didn't fix it, of course. So I'm going to take it apart and let's do the display flex. This is going to be fun. I'm going to carefully remove the bezel here. This rubber bezel that goes around the border. It'll come out fairly easily. And this is the point of no return. As soon as I lift this, we're into this all the way. All right, we'll slowly peel this guy up without stretching it. All the way to the top corner. Go around the top and all the way down the other side. And we'll set this aside to reuse at the end. We have 9 screws to take out for the panel. All right, and now that all of those are out, we can move on to the hardest part of this repair, and that is extracting the display. And the reason it's so hard is because the adhesive that holds onto this isn't something that really lets go with heat. Besides, you wouldn't want to apply heat too much to this because you could damage the backlight, and the backlight sheets are like $100. So under the sticker right here, there is a little bit of black adhesive sticking out. What I'm going to do is gently try to roll it up in the tweezers. And of course, you can't use isopropyl alcohol or any other thing to loosen up adhesives on this border, otherwise you will damage the backlight. This method takes forever, but it really is the only way to extract. As far as I know, if you guys have ever done it any other method without breaking it, let me know. But I'm going to take this nice and slow. I'm going to pull on that adhesive and it'll stretch and it'll release the panel very slowly. And there's going to be several spots where the metal surface changes, so the adhesive gets held up throughout the process. And if you're too quick or too aggressive, you will snap it. And it's a big deal. Hard, it's really hard to get in there and fish it out. I'm actually going to set a stopwatch so we can see how long this is going to take. And you would think that this distance here, which is a good 8 inches or so, would be far, but I've only gone up about 1.5 inches. And I'm on my first hang up here. It's because it changes to like a plastic material and the adhesive holds on better. So I work it back and forth, tugging kind of upwards and then down, up and then down, and eventually I get it to slip past that point. All right, I've just passed the halfway mark at 6 minutes. Okay, so that tells you how long this takes, okay? But it's well worth being patient. You have one extra shot at doing this without breaking it by going to the other side on this corner and doing it. But if you can use that or not use that, it's preferable. And it broke. I was almost to the top, and we're at 13 minutes. And if any of you have ever tried to use a pry tool to get under the screen, you'll know that it cracks like instantly. So using something like this is really the only way that I've been able to do without damaging it further. And I've practiced plenty on broken panels. Oh, and I think I actually got lucky. It's still sticking out. I'll save this for later because I'm sure I'm going to need it. But we are going to need to wrap this up because I can't get a good grip on it with my fingers. How lucky am I? That is not normally what happens. Normally it breaks right where it's making contact under the display. And I broke it. Well, we got around the corner around the 20-minute mark. I'm going to carefully try to get the adhesive to come out. And you can see it starting to creep out there a little bit. That might be enough for me to grab it. If I didn't have tweezers this small, this would be a pain. All right, got a hold of it. So we'll continue with the pull and hopefully not too many more breaks. I expect them every time, but I really hate it when it happens. You can kind of see down in here, there's these little indicators. That's where things tend to get hung up. You can see I got hung up on that first one. There's gonna be one I get hung up there, there, there. You really have to take your time at those sections. We're almost at 24 minutes, so let's keep going. And we broke again. And on the dot at 30 minutes, I made it exactly halfway. Let's see if we can beat the other half in less than a half hour. And if you're wondering why go through all of this trouble, a whole new lid, a whole new top case, all right, that comes with the flex cables that are damaged here. It's like almost $700. Okay, so going about it this way is the better way. And a new LCD panel, if I break it, is like, again, over 300, if not more, on this particular model. And contrary to current belief, you still should transfer the ICs if you're doing a display swap or a panel swap. I'm having a relatively hard time getting that one back out, so I'm gonna start on this side. Alrighty, we're at the 40-minute mark and I'm almost to the corner. A couple more inches to go and we're at 45 minutes. So I think I'm a little quicker on the second half, as long as it doesn't break again. Alright, I should be getting, I think I broke somewhere around here, so we should be getting to the point where it just, oh, I don't know if that is it, but it broke or popped out. Oh, yep, we are fully loose. Whew, alright, that took all of 47.5 minutes for me to simply remove all of this adhesive. So maybe you're someone who doesn't have this type of patience. I've definitely earned it. Of course, for this next section, I'm going to be putting on some gloves because I don't want to get any fingerprints on the back of the LCD panel. In general, I want to keep the backlight free from debris. I need to make sure that the LCD flex cable is free from the frame. And it's not like somebody put some glue in here or anything to make it harder. We'll let the panel fall out without letting the backlight fall out. And out comes the display panel. I set this aside and we'll take a look. I can see that it's definitely, this cable has slid out. Oh, look at how much further that went in. But because this one is compromised, I am going to pop it out. There's these two little prongs that you have to push down on, and out comes the flex and in goes the new one. Now we can set the display panel aside while we work on getting the top case prepped for the installation. I'm going to pull out all of the old gasket adhesive that's clumped up, and then I'm going to take some nice thin Tessa tape and we'll push it on down in. We'll smooth it on out, peel off the protector, and I'm going to do the same on both sides and try not to get anything on the backlight. And push it in, smooth it on out, peel up the protector, pull out another piece, Cut it approximately to length and do it all over again. And the last one. Now we can carefully realign the rubber gasket. I'll leave the end sticking up because it's hard to access the screws with them down. All right, we'll install the gasket on all sides and we'll take the time to compress it in. All right, the top's now done. Let's move on to the last side. All right, now that that side is done, we can go ahead and tape the inside edge. It's slightly taller adhesive. It's the same width, but different height. This other tape. And we'll smooth out that adhesive, pushing it into its little channel there. We'll let it turn the corner there a little bit. And then I'll peel off the protector for it. And we'll do the same for the top. And then we'll peel off that protector. We'll lay this one out as well. Smooth it out. Peel off the protector. And I'm going to take some time to clean off the cold press that I had to put there to try that original fix. I just realized the camera stopped recording. I went ahead and made sure there was no dust on the back of the panel or the backlight, and we got it seated in there. And now we're going to put on the 9 screws that hold down the bottom of the panel. And now I'm going to gently put in the little rubber sections, put back the little plastic piece, put back the little glass bezel here, push that on down. Didn't even mess with the protector, the screen protector that this one has. Now let's move to install it back on the frame, on the housing. All right, now we'll put back the hinge screws, and I basically want to put this back together as if it's done. I'm pretty positive everything's gonna work, but I guess we'll never really know until we test it. It's always awkward to get these cables to sit properly. For right now, I'm gonna secure this one. It's because the flex cable hasn't yet used to being in that position. Go ahead and connect up all the connectors for the display, and I'm going to put back the bracket and screws for everything, and then we'll be ready to test it. All right, well, it's time to see if all that work to replace this was worth it. Go ahead and plug it in, and let's hope to see an Apple logo. Boom, look at that. Yes, we have got a logo. And it's on. Let's make sure that the sleep wake still works. And yep, it's off, back on. Yeah, this is good to go. We do need to close it up. So I'm gonna quickly slap on the back. We'll click it on down and put back all the screws. All right, so we've got it all back together. Everything is still working. The one last thing we gotta do, of course, is make sure it doesn't happen again. So we're gonna do another 2-inch drop test. And we still have image. So this is definitely fixed. And there we go. We've got it all back working again. It no longer blacks out when it gets bumped. Definitely an extremely difficult repair for such a small component and near impossibility to access. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is this something that you would attempt, or would you just invest in a whole new top case? Looking forward to your feedback. Thanks a ton for watching. We'll see you in the next video.